Hello, sir. How are you all? Very happy to see you all after a long time. Big lockdown for us, for each and everybody. How are you doing? 1 minute, sir. I'm not able to hear you. 1 minute, I'll unmute you. Sivaraman, sir. Hello, ma'am. 1 minute, man. We'll unmute you.
I told you don't do this thing. We are always speak. Interactive session, no. You don't do.
Sivaraman, sir. அவங்களே பண்ண சொல்ல நம்ம பண்ண முடியாதா?
Yes, they can speak.
Sir, you can speak now. Sivaraman, sir.
Yeah.
You are able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. How about you? Can you hear me?
We are fine, sir. We are all fine. So how are you, ma'am? How is ma'am? How are your daughters?
Yeah. Everybody is sailing in the same boat.
Yes, ma'am.
So the country be, they're
Yes.
all inside the house,
Yes.
managing. Yeah.
Hello, Subhaya, sir. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
அங்கதாங்க வரும். இப்போ இனிமேல் பாப்பா
கொஞ்சம் வந்தீங்கன்னா நீங்க வருவீங்க.
எங்க மம்மிமா தெரியுறேனா ராஜா கொஞ்சம் கரெக்ட் பண்ணிப்போம். என் கண்ணு தெரியுதாமா? அவங்க தெரியுறாங்க.
Hello, Jayaraman, sir. Thanks for coming. Chonna short notice you came. Thank you so much. How is ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am is fine and she is taking rest. And nice to see you after a very long time.
Yes, sir.
We are
That's
really
the reason it's a long time, like actually.
We are very sad that we are not able to reach your hospital.
But at least now the internet is making wonders, no? Like online we are able to connect and talk at least
That is
over
fine.
the...
That is wonderful. That is fine. That's fine. In fact, it gives us a lot of confidence and help. Nice of you. Nice to call that you have called us and we are able to join. Let us continue with all of that also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think everybody... We'll wait for a few more minutes because people are logging in. So we'll just wait for other people also.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait with my voice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Video is dropping.
Yeah, sir. Hello, sir. Achyutanarayanan, sir. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா இருக்கேங்க மேடம். Thank you madam your invitation.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming. நாங்க தான் thank பண்ணோம். ரொம்ப நாள் ஆச்சுல பார்த்து எல்லாரையுமே.
ஆமாங்க மேடம்.
Imtiaz, sir, how are you?
Your name also coming as update or your coming as really.
10 நிமிஷம் இரு. மீட்டிங் ஆரம்பிச்சதுதான் நீ போ.
Okay. Sir, if you want to talk after the session or you want to ask any questions, you can unmute yourself and then talk one by one. So we will be here only. So we will guide you in or no, we will be supporting you in always, like we will tell you how to unmute and all. So when you want to talk to doctor, please unmute yourself, you can speak and then you mute it so that there will be echo will be heard. So that's the reason we are making it, we are muting it.
Okay.
ஓகே பா.
So how is the lockdown period going, sir? Sivaraman, sir.
They're totally inside the house and friends and family members are helping us, so things are okay.
It's time. Okay, we'll go get into the session. I'll ask Swaha first to give you all a welcome note, give a welcome note to you, and then we'll get into the session, sir.
இல்லடா நீ மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு நீ கூப்பிடல இல்லையா ஒருத்தர் கூப்பிட்டு சதா நீ கூப்பிட போறேன்னு உனக்கு தெரியுது இல்லையா அப்ப அவங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ண பிகாஸ் யூஆர் த ஹோஸ்ட் யூ கேன் அன்மியூட் ஹிம் இல்லையா அப்ப அவ பேசுறதுக்கு அவங்க பதில் பேசணும்னா அவங்க நீ அன்மியூட் பண்ணாதானே வரும் புரியுதா இருக்கிறதே 15 பேர் தானே டக்குன்னு மியூட் பண்ணலாம் இல்லையா so if she logs on to அந்த இதுல இருந்து பேசுறானா நீ வந்து as a host
hello Rama madam
Rama somebody is calling you talking to you
hello Rama madam
yes ma'am
நான் மிஸ்ஸஸ் அச்சுத்ராயன் பேசுறேம்மா
சொல்லுங்க மேம்
கடைசியா நான் டாக்டருக்கு ஒரு கேட்க சொன்னீங்களா லாஸ்டா ஒரு என்னுடைய லெக் பத்தி கேட்கணும் லாஸ்டா கேக்குறேன் நானு ஓகே வரமா
சொல்லுங்க மேம் சாரி எனக்கு கேட்கல
இல்லம்மா லாஸ்டா ஒரு டவுட் கேட்கணும் டாக்டர் நான் லாஸ்டா கேக்குறேன் மீட்டிங் முடிஞ்ச உடனே
கேளுங்க
how are you Rama madam okay
you should also call because now that you know who are all logged okay அவரோட பேரும் சொல்லிட்டு அவர் பேர் சொல்லும்போது நீ அவங்க புரியுதா you make those and then in another 5 minutes another 2-3 minutes starts no 3 மணிக்கு ஆரம்பிக்கும் 3 மணிக்கு ஆரம்பிக்கும் login ஆயிட்டாங்க speaker login ஆயிட்டாங்க நீ introduce and start
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are doing great and taking proper precautions for COVID-19. We postponed our teen support group meeting to maintain the social distancing. As now the webinar and online meetings are the new normals, so we thought why we will compromise with our monthly meets. We want to welcome all and one are present and attending in this meeting. As per we told, in this meeting we will discuss about yoga, mental stress, prostate health, and after that it will be a chit-chat session with all of you. It will be on conversation session. You can tell things, new things you learn in this lockdown, what things you face there, and you can share your all things with us. I will want to welcome Dr. N Lilly. She completed her master's degree in Ayush Health Department. Her undergraduate qualification is Bachelor in Naturopathy and Yogic Science in Sri Ramakrishna Medical College of Naturopathy and Yogic Science. Her postgraduate qualification is MD Yoga and Naturopathy in Government Yoga and Naturopathy Medical College, Chennai. She worked as medical officer cum lecturer as well as research officer in Narayana Medical College and Hospital, Nellore for the period of several years. Later, she worked as wellness consultant in Naturopathy and Yoga Institution for few years. So I want to welcome Lily ma'am, and we are very glad you just came here and you will teach your yoga, and you will motivate all of us today. So thank you, ma'am. Now we are handing over the session over to you, ma'am. Thank you. You can start, ma'am.
I can start the session, no? I can start the session.
Please
Shall I
start, ma'am.
start?
You are audio.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your introduction session. Myself, I am Dr. N Lilly. Today, I'm going to teach about immune boosting yoga. So, why I selected this topic today means because today nowadays world is facing a very dangerous situation due to coronavirus pandemic. Um that is happened due to our lack of knowledge in the health system, especially how to keep our immune system very normal and balanced condition. We people are in lack of that knowledge, so I'm selecting that. So how we have to improve our immune system through yoga techniques. So that is a natural way, and it is very important for all, for each and every person in the world. So I'm selected this topic. So basically through Zoom, I can able to teach only a breathing technique. So I'm selecting the today the topic is pranayama. Can, everyone is audible? For everybody it is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Is audible.
Yeah.
Sir, if anybody not able to hear, please go to the chat box. Kindly put in your feedback there so that we'll be able to see and inform the concerned speakers.
Okay. Okay. So pranayama session today. What is pranayama? We have to know about that, no? So what is yoga? You people generally know about a little bit about the word about the yoga, and some people know about yoga, how to practice the little things about yoga asanas, yogic asanas, and breathing techniques and relaxation techniques. And most of the people doesn't know about yoga. So yoga is a basic thing which we have to learn. Everybody should learn, because the way of living the yoga only is teaching. So how it is teaching the way of living means yoga has its 8 limbs of techniques like yama, niyama, pranayama, so long, etc. Things are there. So especially I'm going to teach about pranayama today. That is also 2 or 3 pranayamas to improve our immune system in the home itself. Wherever you are, you can able to improve your immunity very naturally, without any cost, with our own effort we can do this effort. So pranayama is nothing but the practice of breath control, that is called pranayama. So how we have to control our breath? So everything, whatever we are, the mind and body, both the thing, it is resonating by the prana, which is circulating in our body. Okay, so how we have to control our prana, how we have to control our breath? By practicing these kind of breathing techniques, patterned breathing techniques called pranayamas. So majorly I'm going to teach today about 2 pranayamas. One is Brahmari pranayama and Bhastrika pranayama. This pranayama easily everybody can do wherever you are in the home. Every day you can do. So at what time you people can practice these kind of techniques means early morning, especially after you wake up. You can take a short bath, or you can just wash your face, and the morning routine you can done later on. Yes, I'll speak without break. Okay. So later on, you can sit relaxedly in a comfortable sitting posture. Elders can sit in the chairs, or the younger ones and all the age group can, if they are possible, they can sit in a comfortable sitting posture called normal sitting Sukhasana. It is a normal sitting posture. Commonly, we used to said that. So the elders can sit in the chair. They can sit very very calm and quiet in a in a good, well cleaned place, and the windows can be opened. The fresh air should you can where you get that, but you don't use AC or the fan and all, because the generally when you used to practice pranayama in the normal natural air, you'll be getting a very good effort in your body system, especially inside. So why I'm specifically mentioned this pranayama means, because everybody nowadays we are facing very stress. Stress is nothing but it is imbalancing all and collapsing all the systems, especially nervous system, this cardiovascular system, breathing system. It is collapsing all the things. It will damage all the each and every cells of the body. In order to combat the stress and we have to reduce our anxiety level, so we should have a control on our breath. So if you practice these techniques of pranayama, it will naturally improve the immunity, because now if any infection like other foreign bodies or any infections, infectious organism which is coming inside our body like bacteria, viruses, so we can able to fight against only through the immune system. So we have to improve our natural killer cells, that is natural immune cells, so that we can able to combat with this kind of dangerous disorders. So I'm going to teach you about two techniques of pranayama. Okay, sit quietly or sit relaxed in a comfortable sitting posture wherever you are. You adapt a very relaxed posture. If you people are ate any food in now or ate before means, after 2 to 3 hours later you can practice pranayama. Basically yogasanas or pranayamas we can practice after 2 hours. It is very good, because the digestion time will be taken place over the time. So after that, if you are practicing means body will be giving a very flexible and it will respond in a proper way. So you can sit relaxedly. Now I'm going to teach only pranayama, so it's not an major issue. If you ate means you just learn and practice it later. If anybody is not, I mean the other people, rest of the people can able to follow now means you can follow now. So you just sit quietly, relaxedly. And first thing is Brahmari pranayama, humming bee sound pranayama. I'm going to teach you now. So you have to sit relaxedly. Before that, close your eyes and take a deep breathe in and deep breathe out for 3 rounds. So take a deep breathe in and breathe out for 3 rounds. I'll just guide you through the Zoom. You can just try to practice so that you can feel the effect of that pranayama, what I am teaching now. So take a deep inhalation and deep exhalation. Close your eyes and try to practice. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Everyone, try to practice. After 3 rounds, sit relaxedly, open your eyes. Then you have to keep your index finger, this index finger, plug it on the ears like this. Gently, how to plug it on the ears and take a deep breathe in. Take a deep breathe in. Okay. Inhale deeply while exhaling. Produce a humming sound which should be heard as a warm sound inside our body, inside the throughout the body. So you have to feel it. Just I'll show the demo right now. Later on you can practice. Okay. So keep your index finger gently on the ears. Should not be so hot to your towards your cartilage. Just gently touch it and take a deep inhalation while breathe out. Produce humming bee sound and just do the forward bend of your neck and keep the chin on the jugular knots. Keep the chin on this cartilage. Start practicing. Just I'm showing. Okay, like this you have to practice. Okay, sit in a comfortable sitting position. Head, neck and spine should be straight. um, I'm not seeing anybody in this room. If somebody is I can have somebody's video, somebody is doing that. I'm seeing that I can able to know, but no response, and I could not get you people. So you people has to do it very relaxedly, like this. This humming bee sound pranayama, you have to do it for 5 to 10 rounds initially. Those who are doing now only, those who are know about this now only, means you start with 5 rounds, 3 to 5 rounds every day in the early morning with the empty stomach. Start practicing. Later on, increase the counts of increase the rounds of the practicing of this technique, especially this primary pranayama is said to be tranquilizing pranayama. It will relieve your mental confusions, and it also improves the uh, stability of your mind, and it reduces the anxiety, and it is very good for those who are having the high blood pressure and those who are having any other disorders. It will be very good for. So you have to practice. How it is improving means automatically while you are doing this kind of pranayama, you are doing this chin lock. Chin lock is otherwise called as Jalendra Banta. You are doing your lock like this. So this chin lock is giving you this effect on the thyroid gland, especially the structures which is present near this area. So this thyroid gland is also getting stimulated, as well as whatever we are chanting. Yeah, because I cannot teach you very big techniques through Zoom. So it is I can able to teach you simple things, and simple things we all can practice in the home. So this is stimulate. Now come back to the topic. Is stimulating the thyroid gland, as well as this omkara, which vibration which is we are feeling inside our body. It is stimulating the pineal gland and pituitary gland. These are the glandular structures which is giving a major functions in our body, so that automatically our immune system will be in a healthy condition. So it will increase the oxygen supply in the blood, so that the pure and fresh oxygen in the blood which is circulating throughout the body, and especially to the nervous system, again it is stimulating the production of the immune cells, so that the immunity we can able to build in a very good manner. So we can and the respiratory system also getting corrected, and it is maintaining the harmonious balancing function in our body, so that we can able to compact any kind of microorganisms or anything related to the bodily or mind level. We can able to balance. Even it will purify our soul. So these are the things which is said in the yoga. So now we are moving towards the next thing. Okay, the next thing I'm going to teach about the Bastrika Pranayama. Bastrika Pranayama is said to be bellows breathe so technique. So this technique, how we have to practice it? Again, sit relaxedly. So these are the techniques I'm teaching now, a little bit demo. Later on, 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, you people try to do it for 3 rounds at least each pranayama, so that you can feel the effect of that breathing technique. So now Bastrika Pranayama, how we have to do that pranayama means that breathing technique. Sit relaxedly and keep your hands in chin mudra, like this, chin mudra. So keep it over your knees or keep your hands simply. Whatever you like, you can practice. If you keep chin mudra, it is effect. Mudra is also giving a good effect in our body. Okay, so sit straight, head, neck, and body should be in a straight line. Then you have to Concentrate on your breathing pattern. So inhale deeply and exhale deeply for 3 rounds. After that, you have to start relaxedly. So this is the active inhalation and active exhalation technique. You have to breathe in actively, rapidly, and breathe out rapidly, so that the diaphragmatic functions, the diaphragmatic movement will be in an active state. So there is a good change in our immune system by practicing this, especially this is very good for uh, COVID-19 novel coronavirus. So this is basically it is meant for the respiratory system, so that uh, it will just whatever the things mucosal lining, it will increase the immune cells in that area, so that we can able to fight against these kind of problems. So I'm just teaching the demo right now. You can just listen. People can listen. Okay. You have to sit relaxedly. Take a deep breathe in, deep breathe out 3 rounds, and you have to take an active inhalation, active exhalation. First, start with the 10 counts, so that later on, while practicing, you can increase the counts, 10 counts for 2 weeks, and later on increase little bit, 5 counts, 15 counts, like that you can do it. Okay, because basic thing you have to start with little thing, and the people who those people should not do this. Who and all should not follow these things mean, especially the pregnant ladies. During the menstruations, women are not allowed, and he'll help lethargic people. Those who are having lethargy fever, don't do it, and it will increase the fire inside, a little bit fire inside your body. So you people can avoid during that time. Later on, you can practice. So next practice, you have to inhale rapidly and exhale rapidly. I'm just doing little demo for 5 counts. I'll just show you. Okay. Okay. If you try to practice inhale actively and exhale actively, this will automatically improve the strength inside the respiratory system, as well as it will just moving this diaphragm movements, and it is involving in the abdominal and chest area. It will make make a vital improvement in all the systems in our body, especially digestive and respiratory system, as well as cardiovascular system. The heart patients, those who are having heart related complaint, don't practice this one in a hard manner. Just try, if it is you having a little bit of problem, not a heavy thing, to try a simple counts, try in 5 counts like that, but don't practice it on more counts. Okay. And those who are having asthma wheezing problem, that people also try to practice initially with this small counts, but basically you people avoid this. The first one you all can practice. The both the pranayamas everybody can practice. Only Bastrika pranayama only it is con- contraindicated, like it is not advisable for the people pregnancy, menstruation, and lethargic people. So after these conditions over, that people can also can practice. Okay, this technique. These two things are the major immune boosting pranayama. So many pranayamas are breathing techniques are there. So these two things I can able to show you through this Zoom session. And the next one is very simple, Udgit Pranayama. How we have to practice means simply sit in a normal, calm, and quiet sitting position, and you have to take a deep breathe in and deep breathe out. Then you chant Omkara. Take a deep breathe in, breathe out, and chant Omkara. That is the Udgit Pranayama chanting breathe technique. So I'll teach you that also. So take a deep breathe in, breathe out, chant Omkara. These all the things you have to close your eyes and you have to do. Okay, everybody should follow. You have to close your eyes and remember the techniques, what I have taught, how the method, and you have to practice. The last one, Udgit Pranayama, simply we have to chant the mantra that I'll do it right now. Okay, simply you can practice like that. Okay? You can practice Om chanting, that is Uddit Pranayama, for 5 to 9 rounds after practicing these 2 pranayamas. So everybody is clear right now? After that, after practicing these kind of simple pranayamas, you can wait. Later on, you can practice a simple meditation technique. After practicing this Om chanting, simply sit quiet, calm and quiet, and you have to close your eyes. Then concentrate on your breathing pattern. Then simply concentrate on your breathing pattern, and you have to sit calm and quiet for a while. That is, you can start with 5 to 10 minutes. Later on, increase the timing 15 to 20 minutes. If you regularly practicing these kind of techniques, automatically our all the system, not only the immune system, recognizing and balancing condition all our bodily system, and also very healthy condition. We can able to any situations whatever we are facing in the world nowadays. So it will be more useful for you people. If you are ready to practice, I can guide you through mobile, or if you already understood about this method, you can practice in your home regularly. Any doubt?
Thank you so much, Dr. Lilly. Anybody has got any doubts, kindly go to the chat box, raise your hands, we will unmute you. Then you can ask Dr. Lilly.
Okay.
You can
Okay, thank
you. Or in the
One?
chat box also. Dr. Lilly, we'll wait for a few more seconds. If anybody
Yeah.
got doubts, you can post your questions in chat box. You can type there.
I think if they are ready to practice, means we can give you some 5 minutes of practice session, practical session. If everybody understood, means we can leave. No issues.
I think because we are running short of time, we have other speakers also, ma'am. So maybe we can do.
That's what I am also spoke all the things very fastly. Otherwise, I'll give very slow and steady practical session for you people, because I have only 15 minutes of time, so I should complete within that period. No?
Okay, okay, fine. Maybe we can have a separate one full session with you in future. So that time we can manage with this exercise part and all doing. So anyway, we'll move on to the next speaker. And thank you so much. Your session was very informative, and hope all of them would start practicing from tomorrow or by today itself, I hope. And we will move on to the introduction of the next speaker. Over to you, Swaha.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, ma'am, for your excellent speech and how you just train in a short time. You just brief all and you just give nice summarization of pranayama. Thank you, ma'am, for joining with us and give you very nice and informative inputs. Now we are coming to our second speaker. Our second speaker is Miss Madhumita Shankar. She is a psychologist. She completed her bachelor's from Madras School of Social Work and her master's in clinical psychology from Manipal University. She has worked previously in Mind Zone, which works with alcohol and substance use rehabilitation. She then joined as a psychologist in Dementia Care Foundation. She's now the director and co-founder of Ties That Bind Foundation. It is a Section 8 company NGO that primarily caters to education, elderly, and mental health. So Madhu is a well-known face for all of us. So over to you, Madhu, and we will have a nice session with you as we expect. Thank you so much for joining with us. Now over to you. Thank you.
Madhu, you are not audible actually. Can you just check your audio? Can you speak? Without the headset, can you speak? Because your voice is not audible. Sorry for the interruption, and we'll just wait for a few more seconds for Madhu to join us again.
You can rejoin. You rejoin? Yes, you just you continue. Tips प्राणायाम आपने सीखा प्राणायाम का
Okay, until Madhu joins us, we'll have a kind of an interactive session. Hope you all got a clear idea about the pranayam. Dr. Lilly was very elaborately told like how to do. And since she didn't have time, like we were not able to have a practical session. Yes, Madhu is joining us. Madhu, you unmute yourself, Madhu. Yes.
Hello, are you able to hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Okay, that's great. All right. I'm sorry for the disruption audio. Hope all were able. Thank you for calling me as a speaker here to speak about stress management today. And this definitely is a stressful period for all, be it a child or an adult or an elderly person. Nobody has been spared by this pandemic. And all of our lives since the month of March, February, March has taken a huge turn. We're all stuck at home. And definitely, initially, it might have been, we would have thought the lockdown would have just been for a few days, and we didn't take the seriousness of this pandemic. But slowly,
Sorry to interrupt you. 1 minute. Subhaya sir, can you hear Madhu? Madhu, I
Can I
think
continue?
you continue.
Yeah,
Subhaya
I'll
sir,
continue.
கேக்குதா?
Audio not.
நான் பேசுறது கேக்குது இல்லையா?
கேக்குது.
Okay, Madhu, can you speak?
Am I audible now?
Very low.
Am I audible now to everyone?
Madhu பேசுறது கேக்குதா sir?
இப்ப கேக்குது. மது
okay.
பேசுறது கேட்க மாட்டேங்குது.
Okay. Can whoever can hear me, யாருக்கெல்லாம் கேக்குறது இந்த மாதிரி thumbs up காட்டுவீங்களா so that I know? Shall I continue? Rama ma'am?
Yes, Madhu.
All right. So, like I was saying, we initially focused on getting our physical health into consideration. Everyone was talking about protecting yourself, keeping social distancing, washing your hands frequently, and we focused on the physical aspects of staying healthy. But over time, we also realized that mental health is equally important, and keeping track of your mental health, your emotions. Nobody expected this pandemic. Nobody expected that we would be under a lockdown for such a long period of time. In this lockdown itself, we have faced us not being able to go out anywhere. Nobody can come to our house. We can't meet our families. We can't meet our friends. Our daily routine itself has taken a huge turn. We're not able to go for our walks, go to the park, go to say a mall, nothing. Everything has come to a standstill, and definitely this brings about a lot of strong emotions, different ways of living that we aren't used to, because we were so used to living very freely, going out at any point we wanted. And right now, when it's not happening, when we have to stay at home the entire day, it becomes very frustrating. People get angry, we feel sad, we have many negative emotions that come into our mind, and that creates a lot of stress, makes us anxious, makes us panicky, and we tend to do or say things that wouldn't normally be appropriate if the whole situation was normal at this point of time. And we tend to pay attention to the very small things that are also there. So if suppose today I sneezed, okay, or I gave out a cough, that one sneeze or cough itself creates so much panic within us, because it's a very novel disease that's being spread. We're not aware, we don't know, we tend to look for signs whether this is going to be a danger to us, or whether it's going to be it's just a normal cough or cold. So considering the elderly population, the news, the doctors say that they are at a higher risk, more vulnerable to this infection. So all those kind of news, listening it on the radio, listening it on the TV, seeing newspaper articles, reading it on your phone, definitely does create a lot of stress within the individual. Some people, they're not living with their families. Some of them live by themselves, maybe not within a community. So taking all those factors into consideration, it definitely creates a lot of amount of stress which we're not usually facing on a daily basis. So thankfully, like it was mentioned, technology is something that is helping us at this point of time. We're able to get our food delivered, we're able to have online consultations, we're able to get vegetables delivered to our house. Everything is getting delivered to our house. But what is creating most stress at the moment is us not able to go out. We are not able to meet our friends. We are not able to go out. we are not able to enjoy the little things that we used to do. It's not creating enjoyment anymore in our lives. So what can we do at this point to keep ourselves mentally fit? By doing exercise, by doing yoga, we are keeping physically fit. What can we do to keep ourselves mentally fit? The first thing right now is we're facing a lot of loneliness, a lot of isolation that's there. We're stuck at home, we can't do anything. It's normal to feel a lot of emotions, like I said, anger, confusion, fear of what is going to happen. But talking to someone, we're all in the same situation. So talking to your family members about what you feel, talking to friends about what you feel, calling someone up and letting them know that I am feeling vulnerable, I am feeling fear. Just because we are facing negative emotions doesn't mean it's bad. Negative emotions, the whole concept of fear, anxiety, sadness, it's not bad. We have to learn to accept it. So talking to someone and letting them know that we are feeling this way is completely normal, and the other person will also reciprocate the same way. So talking about what you're feeling to one another will really help you feel calm, relaxed, and also will make you feel better. So along with your physical health, like when you're doing your walking in the morning inside the house or in the terrace, or doing little yoga, pranayama, it's also very good to keep a routine in mind. Because we're at our home the entire day, we have to look for little tasks that we can do at home. Initially, we could go out and do some activities, but right now, since we're stuck at home, it's good to find little activities that can be done at home. Maybe sometimes the domestic help cannot come home. So folding the clothes, rearranging some things at home, cutting vegetables, those small things, if it's brought into a routine for daily life, would really be helpful. And with along with getting a daily routine, your sleep and your food is also really important. I'm very sure that your food is taken care of and you are eating well, but the kind of fear and stress that we are facing at the moment, our sleep is something that gets affected. We're not constant news announcements, seeing the rising number of cases. All those kind of news create some sort of tension, some sort of fear that, oh my God, will I get affected tomorrow? Will someone I know get affected? What we all keep thinking about the what ifs. So to prevent that, we learn to do something called mindfulness. So I will be talking about that in a moment. So being mindful of the situation, being mindful of the here and now will really help you stay grounded. And we tend to, because we're listening to so many news, so many articles, we tend to focus mainly on the negative of what's happening. Okay, the number of rising cases, the kind of deaths that are, the number of deaths that are there every day, those are the kind of information that we're constantly being fed on a daily basis. No one is talking about the positive news. So it's very important that we spare some time in understanding what kind of news we're taking in. We have to limit the amount of information that we are consuming, be it through the TV, the radio, the newspaper. We have to look for credible information. If you're looking at a news channel, ensure that news channel has a person who's speaking real news and not just sensationalizing every news. So looking for credible information, be it in the newspaper, the news channel, a friend. We are getting so many messages on WhatsApp regarding different remedies to be physically better, medicines, the kind of progression of the disease. We're getting all sorts of information. So we have to understand what is true and what is false. So again, talking to someone who is experienced, who you think will give the good information and credible information is very important, because then only you can have peace of mind. Otherwise, you're constantly thinking about all the negative information, which might not even be true. So limiting the amount of information we are consuming on a daily basis, that's very important. So while we're doing that, well, when we're reading a news article or seeing the news, we tend to feel different emotions. Like I had said, your fear, your anxiety, your sadness, anger, all those kind of emotions, we have to keep them in check. So when you're feeling such emotions, trying to distract yourself is one technique that can really help. Something as simple as counting down from 10 to 1 or 50 to 1, just to get yourself grounded and keep yourself in the here and now. And if you feel like you are thinking too much about a negative news or thinking too much about what could happen to you, we have to do a little bit of reality testing, reality check. We have to understand what is under our control and what is not under our control. So, are we unnecessarily worrying about something that is not under our control? What can we do? Maybe in the past, we would have faced the same situation. What did we do in that situation that calmed us down or kept us in a good spirit? So we have to think about that and try applying it to the same situation when you're feeling anxious or when you're feeling fearful. So what can I do to make myself feel a little better? So in these periods of time, talking to someone, talking to your friends, technology is a boon at this moment. Conducting this kind of Zoom meeting, getting your friends along, listening to some music, having a group meeting, having a group discussion. This is wonderful ideas to reduce your stress and distract yourself from what is happening. So you can even cook together as a family, bring in recipes. The elderly can share their own knowledge to the younger generation. There are so many things that can be done with technology nowadays. So coming to the aspect of mindfulness, mindfulness is basically living your life moment to moment without judging it, and we are not thinking about the past or the future. So your mindfulness can be practiced in your eating, while you're walking, when you're sitting, or even as simple as just breathing. Being mindful about the way you breathe, about what is happening, how you're reacting to. So if you're seeing a particular news and it's making you feel fearful, being mindful of that emotion, that I am feeling fear while reading this news. It's creating increased heart rate. I'm feeling a little, my hands are shaking a little. Being aware of what is happening to your body and then bringing it back and grounding yourself is something that you can do. Like I had said, counting from 10 to 1, distracting yourself, understanding the reality. Those things can be brought into mindfulness. So again, mindfulness is something that can be practiced as a family as well. You don't have to be mindful all the time. It's not something that you have to practice. It takes long hours to practice. It's the small things that you really want to be mindful about. Just your breath, where you are at home, if you're having your cup of coffee or your tea, taste the coffee, see how it feels when you're swallowing it. So just the taste, whether it's bitter, whether it's too sweet. So without judging of what is going to happen, maybe this coffee is going to give me bad digestion. You don't think about all that. You just think about you drinking that cup of coffee and you're enjoying that cup of coffee. So because right now we're so focused on thinking of the small things that are negative in nature, we have to try shifting focus to what the small positive things are as well. And I think being together as a family, if you're not with your family, connecting with them on a Zoom call or on WhatsApp or any sort of medium would be great for you as a stress buster. One more aspect that would really help in reducing your stress a little is gratitude. So when it comes to expressing gratitude, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just making note of a few small things that make you smile throughout the day. Smiling in this point of time, it's very easy to get consumed by the negative information. So just letting out a big smile and thinking about what you're thankful about throughout the day. Maybe, just for 5 minutes, just sitting down, being with your thoughts and thinking about what makes you happy. Maybe for me, it's just being alive today or being with my family is something that makes me really happy, and I'm very grateful about that. Or I got to eat something that I really like. My mother made it for me. I'm very grateful about that. So it helps you stay grounded, and gratitude is something that you don't have to force. So if you're not feeling it, it's okay. If you're not grateful about something right now, it's okay. You don't have to force yourself, because at this moment we are all facing conflicting emotions. We're at one point we're happy, at one point we're sad, at one point we're angry. When we're angry, when we're sad, we don't think about gratitude. We don't think about what we are grateful about. We're only thinking about why is it like this? Why is my life like that? So we tend to think about the negative aspects. So without letting your mind spin about all that, it's just, you don't have to minimize your struggle or your emotion that you're facing, and learn to accept what you're feeling, whether it is positive or negative. And at that moment, even if it's a small moment, that I'm happy that I smile, I'm happy that I saw my wife or my family member's face. So at this point of time, you deserve as much as gratitude you have for yourself. The amount of gratitude you give to everyone else, you can even give that same amount of gratitude to yourself. So those are a few ways to stay positive and being acceptive of your emotions at the moment. It's a roller coaster for everyone. You are not alone. We're all in this together. And if you feel that your emotions are spiraling and you are feeling a little helpless, definitely you can get in touch with a professional like a psychologist or your doctor or someone who you think has experience in this field to help you feel a little better. So that's something you can do to beat the stress and stay positive. I think that would be the end of my session. If you have any questions, I'll be open to answering them.
That's so nice tips, Madhu, like very informative for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and giving your valuable inputs. Does anyone have any questions to ask Madhu? You can raise the questions in the chat box so that she'll be able to answer you. Anybody would like to ask Madhu? I think no, none of them is
I think
you any. You're so clear. Yeah. Whatever you.
Always question. If they have questions, they can always ask it later. Not an issue.
Yeah, you can. We can do that later also. Anyway, we'll move on to the next speaker. Thank you so much, Madhu, for joining us once again. And we'll move to the next speaker. Over to you, Swaha.
I want to thank Madhu for your very nice and informative inputs. I think we all will be get beneficial, because in this lockdown time, somewhat we are getting stressed, because this thing is all new for us. What is we are now coming, that is a new normal for us. So for this thing, like no space for there to escape for us. We have to deal it. So for that, you just help us a lot, Madhu. So after that, after this session also, we need any help, I think you will be always there for us. So thank you so much. So now we are coming to our next speaker, who needs no introduction. Our next speaker is Dr. Ananthakrishnan Sivaraman, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Ananth here. Welcome all to the meeting. It's been such a long time since. Am I audible? Yes, okay. So it's been a long time. I think for the last 3 months, we've not had a support group meeting. And we've finally come down to when June 27th is today, and we've been able to have a support group meeting. I'm happy to meet all of you on the online forum, and it's such a pleasure to meet all of you. So, இன்னைக்கு என்னத்தை பத்தி பேசுறது அப்படின்னு a lot of people were asking me, what are you going to talk about? I think if we don't talk about the COVID crisis now, that we'll be doing some injustice. So, Rama, are you able to listen to this? Can you unmute some of the participants? I'd like to see or hear what their views are.
Okay, sir. You will let us know the name so that we can.
So straight away I can see Mr. Sivaraman there. Let's unmute him, please. Can you, Sivaraman sir, how are things there at your end, and how are you managing in this crisis?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are fine in the sense that we are totally inside the house, and our neighbors are very helpful, and vegetable and things like that come onto the street, and we don't buy it; they buy it and then give it to us, and we use the big basket, and there are certain apps by which you can get the vegetables, so there is no issue. As far as the loneliness angle, I don't think we have a problem. At least I don't have a problem, in the sense that there are many things that you can do, like reading and preparing yourself for a speech and things like that. And my wife's got full time, taking care of the kitchen plus. And we have also got the family Zoom meeting every week, and so that also keeps us going. And
okay, wonderful. You're keeping yourself busy.
Yes.
So that's a very good thing to do. Number two is, from our standpoint as doctors, so Curie Hospital, we've been working from day one of the crisis, and we've actually not stopped working throughout this period. But as of now, we are not a COVID hospital. So we don't take in patients who are COVID positive at present, though things might change with the crisis unfolding, and then the government has been sending out feelers every day saying whether it's possible for us to take in patients and so on. So the way I looked at it was there are certain things that we do here in this hospital that very few hospitals across can do, right? So COVID patients, a lot of hospitals will be able to do, but there are certain unique things that we are doing here that other hospitals may not do. And so initially I thought that was one of the reasons we shouldn't be taking COVID patients. But now I think because the pandemic is rushing like anything, I think we won't, that is no longer an excuse. I think we will also eventually be treating COVID patients, and I think that's the right thing to do. Primarily because that is the situation that Tamil Nadu is in right now, and with the infrastructure that's available like ours, I think this is going to be the future. So that's one point. Number two is I'd like generally about what you should do to protect yourselves. Very important, right? So everybody talks about this N95 mask and all that. This N95 mask is a negative pressure mask, which means that because it is such a strong mask, it gives a good seal around your nose and mouth and all that. You have to exert extra pressure or when you inhale air into your lungs. So people with asthma, people with cardiac issues, you should make sure that your lung function, cardiac function is good enough to wear an N95 mask, right? So that's very important. Otherwise, just a standard 3-ply mask is very good, and you don't necessarily need to wear an N95 mask at all times, right? The other best thing to do would be to do something called social distancing, right? So currently, I think people are talking about 6 feet, And depending upon which state the pandemic is in, right? Depending upon how severe the cases around us are, this social distancing of 6 feet may be reduced further or maybe increased later. So generally, social distancing is going to be the new normal. I don't think things have the potential to change anytime soon. I don't think this pandemic is going to leave us very quickly. But what is possible from our side, we should do. So unnecessary congregations, right? So we have to define what is unnecessary. But generally, yes, sir. Sivaraman, sir, you wanted to say something? Yes. Please unmute, sir.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Yes. Yeah. No, it's not that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the follow-up that I was doing with you, that is stopped because of this COVID business. So that's okay with us?
I'm sorry?
Because the PSA test I was scheduled to do could not be done because of this COVID. And you said, let's wait for COVID. The COVID is not going to go away soon. So
I think the blood test and all can be done at the local lab, which is next to you, and then you can send us the report, and then you can liaise with us on the telephone. I don't think you necessarily need to come to the hospital to get blood tests done or anything of that sort. So I think that part of it, don't worry. Any good local lab, if you're able to access a good local lab and that blood test, even that there is no hurry. You can get it done after the lockdown period is over, and then so on. So I don't think we can live our lives as an island forever. So we are going to go outside at some point in time. But when we do go outside, make sure you all have a good mask, and then make sure you don't touch your face or nose or anything. So it needs to go into our system. One is it can go via conjunctiva, that is the covering in the eyes, or it can go via the nostrils and the mouth. So all you can do is, the best way to prevent it is, number one, wash your hands as much as possible. If you touch something, if you're in an environment that is new to you and you've gone there and come out, just wash your hands. And the reason why we tell you to wash your hands is because without us knowing it, every day we touch our face at least 3,000 times. Right? It comes naturally to us. Suddenly we'll do something like this. We may touch our face like this, nose like that, and so on. So I think that is the reason why regular hand washing is essential. And you don't need to wash your hands with some very heavy soap or something. Just routine hammam soap or whatever soap that you have in your house usually is more than fine. I would suggest hand washing as a better way of cleaning your hands than using those hand sanitizers. Hand sanitizers have potential to completely make your skin dry and cause skin problems. The routine hand washing with soap, running water is exceptionally good way of doing it. Number two is mask. And I see a lot of people wear the mask like this, with their nose open, and some people it's like they wear it on their chin like this, with the nose and mouth open, stuff like that. So that is not a good idea. So the reason you're wearing a mask is to cover your nose and mouth. And there are two advantages. One is you're protecting yourself, and two is you're protecting others from yourself. So I think it's reasonable that you all wear a mask. Social distancing, regular hand washing is what you should do. The other thing is there a way that we can prevent the virus from attacking us? I'm not sure there is currently a way that you can prevent it other than these measures that I've told you. What you can do to improve your situation is improve your immunity, right? So at present, allopathy does not have a cure for the virus, right? And allopathy does not have a cure for several viruses. No viral infection, it has got a cure. You can only alleviate your symptoms. Influenza is the vaccine we've had, but we don't have a cure for influenza. The flu, common flu, we don't have a cure. You just have to endure it. right? But doesn't have that much of a negative impact on us as Indians. But this virus, what can you do to boost your immunity, right? So I'll give you about 5 points that I think are essential. And I would like all of you to follow this to boost your immunity, right? Number 1 is diet, right? What is good for you would be to, this is for normal people who don't have renal dysfunction or anything that prevents them from taking this sort of a diet. A diet high in proteins is good. I think Swaha will be able to tell you what sort of diet you should take. I would encourage all of you to have a chat with Swaha after this. So generally, high protein diet is good. High carbohydrate diet is not good. So don't take a lot of carbohydrates. Generally take a lot of proteins. That's very, very essential. Number 2 is exercise, right? So you got to exercise, and the best exercise is, I think you've already had a class on yoga today. I think the best exercise for us is yoga. I don't even think we'll be able to walk long distances now because of this COVID crisis. But yoga is something that you can do in your house. You don't necessarily need to go outside. All you need is a small yoga mat, and then you can get it done, right? So I would encourage all of you to take up yoga. And you know, there are so many. You've had this Dr. Lenny teach you a little bit about yoga today, so you can get in touch with her. Or there are several YouTube videos that are available that teaches you how to do yoga as well. So just start with it. Small breathing exercises. These are amazingly important things that will boost your immunity. The next one is adequate sleep, right? I would suggest that you take at least 8 hours of sleep every day, every night. So make sure you get a discipline into your life where, because of this COVID crisis, even I was at fault because the workload was reduced. I used to watch sometimes to be on the computer or TV up to night 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then sleep late and so on, because the next day we didn't have a lot of work. So, but then slowly I realized that even during the crisis, I don't think we should change our routine protocol, right? Eat at particular times, sleep at particular times, and give yourself enough and more time to have a good night's rest, right? It's very, very important. So I was speaking about wearing the mask, social distancing, diet, exercise, and good sleep, right? I think these are mandatory things that if you do well, I think you have a good chance of beating this disease. So there are 2 ways. Once it comes to us, the way our body responds to it also makes a difference, right? If we're able to fight it, we will be asymptomatic. We may have fever for 1 or 2 days, and then things will just become normal. Only when it gets the better of us, we'll be in trouble. So what is possible by you is these 5 things. The other thing that I would suggest is don't drink ice water anymore. There's no proven theory that says the ice water will increase your risk for this particular virus. But generally, I've found that if you take hot water, warm water, hot water all the time, right, it is a good thing. Take it, and I would avoid ice waters. I would avoid air-conditioned rooms, especially split AC rooms, right? Split AC, I hope all of you know that in split AC, the chances of fresh air coming in are limited, right? Because what it does is it just recirculates air inside the room, right? At least window AC has an ability where there's a lever where you open it, there's some fresh air can come inside. But split ACs are more dependent on how much the door to the room is open. So if you're using a split AC, I would suggest at least open your bathroom door or something like that, so that there is access to outside air for the room. That's important, right? So generally, these are advices that I am following. I hope it helps you as well. So it doesn't, this virus, the great thing about this virus is it doesn't, it doesn't see who it is affecting. Rich people, poor people, upper caste, lower caste, educated, uneducated. It doesn't care, right? Whether you're from, whether you're, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, whatever. So this is the greatest leveler that India can get. There is no more people who are entitled and unentitled or something like that. This virus has shown us, at least now, we as Indians should, or we as humans should realize that no longer these barriers are useful or useful. They were never useful. No longer these barriers should be thought of as barriers. The virus has shown us. It has come to into our lives and shown us that everybody is equal in its eyes. Something that you cannot see has really changed how we look at our lives, how we look at how important and what our priorities are going to be, right? Because I've had very close friends of mine who are in the US, who are doctors in the US. They were good one day, the next day they had hypoxia, the third day they were in the ICU, the fourth day they were no more. So again, these things have made us reevaluate our priorities. Anyway, it's a good thing to introspect and retrospect and reflect on what is more important for us. But generally, my advice for all of the members of the support group is try these things to improve your immunity and generally be safe. Don't go out unnecessarily. That concept, I think that is gone now. I don't think we should be going out to congregations unnecessarily and so on, right? So happy to answer any questions regarding what you might have with the COVID crisis and so on. And I think next we have a chit chat session. So you can ask us questions. I'll be able to answer. Happy to answer. And I get a lot of questions regarding what sort of testing is important. So at present, there is only one test available to tell you whether you are positive for the disease or not. It is called RT-PCR, reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, RT-PCR test. How they do that is to do a swab test of through your nostrils, put a not the pen, put a swab through your nostril and through into the throat, and then take a specimen, and from that they will do an RT-PCR test and give you that answer. That's about 6 hours to 8 hours for that report to come, and I think it costs around 3,000 to 3,500 rupees when you go to certain labs. If you include the PPE kit that the nurse who's taking the test to put, it will cost around 4,000 rupees or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. So that is the only currently acceptable test available. A lot of people are talking about this antibody testing and so on, right? So is that a good test or something like that? So even this RT-PCR that I was talking to you about is only available, recognized test, has got a false positive, false negative. So some people might have the disease, but depending upon how well you've taken the swab for the patient, it might come back as negative. Some people might have the disease, but it will show a negative report, right? So it is not perfect test because there is a human element available where you need to take the swab from the patient's nostril, right? So that's one thing. The other thing that they're talking about is the antibody testing. So whenever an infection affects our body, there is things called antibodies in our, the immune system produces antibodies. The first antibody that comes out is called the IgM antibody, right? And that comes out in the first week to 10 days time, right? And the second antibody that comes is called the IgG antibody, right? IgG antibody. So these two antibodies we can look at when we do antibody testing. So if somebody has got the infection, they might have IgM positive, right? If somebody has got IgM and IgG, means that they've completely fought off the infection and they are more or less safe. If somebody has no antibodies, then it means they may not have got the infection at all. So this antibody testing is slowly going to come into vogue, but it is not as good as the RT-PCR test, that is the swab test that everybody takes right? The swab test is many times more expensive, but that is the only currently available test that we can do to tell you whether you have an infection or not, right? The antibody test is useful to tell you whether you've had an asymptomatic infection and it's gone now. That can be used to tell you that. Okay. All right. So Rama, can we go to the chit chat session? If that's okay. I've been chatting and.
Before getting into that, I would like to inform you, sir, from West Bengal, your patient Gaurari Saha and Bapi Dev, as well as from Bangladesh, Habibur Rahman patient is like online. They have joined us this meeting.
Oh, welcome, welcome. So we've got people from other countries and other states. Welcome, welcome to the support group. And hopefully the crisis is not troubling you too much in, I think West Bengal is currently in full lockdown now. Calcutta is in full lockdown, I think. And I'm not sure how the situation is being played out in Bangladesh. Because we in South Asian states, South Asian countries, we are very densely populated. So the chances of the infection spreading wider, faster, much higher in our country. Yes, Mr. Gaurari Saha. Well,
yes, sir. I am Mr. Gaurari Saha speaking from Kolkata.
Yes, yes.
West Bengal.
Yes.
Just telemedicine was done with you on 29th May, and you advised me about my treatment after surgery. 2 medicine I am taking. One Mildfield for 3 months, another is Celoten for another 2 months, and exercises. Now I am okay. I am also going through physical exercise, and the norms you just advised early about COVID-19. All are I am following. But one thing I wanted to know, where I am going to outside for my important work, then I come back to the home, and at that time what I should do about my dress and etc. and the money and other things, what can I do to keep it safety and any contamination?
So very good question. So what he is asking is, when he goes outside the house and when he comes back into the house, what should you do to prevent the rest of the family members getting an infection if you are infected? So I'll tell you what I do, and then hopefully it helps you. So before I walk into the house, we've kept a wash basin there. So I wash my hands before I go inside. And as soon as I go inside, I go directly to the restroom, take the clothes off, and then put it in a bucket which is filled with water and Dettol, and then immerse it in the bucket, and then take a bath, and then only come out and meet the family members. So I think that's a reasonable thing to do, but I am at a high risk because I'm in a hospital and I get to see a lot of patients. Some of them may have the virus without being symptomatic. So this is what I follow. But I'm not, you are going outside. When you come back, I think it's reasonable to follow what I do, maybe not to the same extent, but wash your hands before you go inside, and ideally take a bath before you meet the family members. I think that's a reasonable thing to do.
Sir, another patient, Zendil Kumar from Singapore, also joined us.
Yes, Singapore. Singapore has got, Singapore had initially a lot of cases and then it came down and then again now. Yes, tell me
cases
how things there.
Yeah, the cases have come down now. The government, they did something really proactive. So they divided the cases into different categories, like mild, if it's a mild category. So what they did here is like they got a huge exhibition hall. So what they did is that they converted all the 6 exhibition halls into the, like they put a lot of beds, like some 10,000 or something like that in the range. They put all the beds. So the patients who have very mild symptoms or who have got COVID and then recovered, and in the phase of recovery, they have been shifted to those kind of like places, like makeshift places. So only the serious cases who really need the hospitals, like they need ventilator support or something like that, like who have gone, like phase 3 or something like that, then they have been sent to the hospital here. In that way, they managed it. And now the cases have come down drastically. The only places still getting affected is the dormitories where the foreign workers are staying in here. So, but they have put in a lot of measures now to take the, they have been tested proactively. So the only way is to test the people proactively and get the cases down. So that's what they have been doing. And as of now, I think it's as of today, it's just 200 cases for the 5 million people who are residing here at the moment. I mean, just for today. Yeah.
Singapore has
the
done
transmission rate.
Singapore has done an excellent job. I think we should take a leaf of their book and hopefully follow. But it's a small country. 5 million is not even, even Chennai is 8 million people. I think their resources are much higher than what a country of 1.3 billion people can do. So I think within reasonable limits, I think we could follow what Singapore has done, but may not be applicable to such a big country. So we should take a leaf out of them. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for giving us that information.
Sure. It was nice seeing you here, because normally the session normally happens, like in the hospital, and I was not able to join always, but keeping it in Zoom really gave me an opportunity today to join and see you all, and I'm really happy that I managed to see you all here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. One more question from Bangladesh. Mr. Habibur Rao, can you just ask the question?
Hello, sir. This is Asad, sir. How are you?
Yes, Asad. Yes, tell me. Very good.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Looking very nice to all of you. Sir, one quick question. That is, as you know, that I have been operated 6.5 years back.
Yes.
So, is there any precautionary measure that I need to take at this moment? So, telling that hand wash, social distancing, and many more. So, do you think that I need to take any other precautionary measure to keep my kidney well?
We did surgery 6.5 years ago. For all practical purposes, you're a normal man now. So any routine precautions that I've advised for all the members here is applicable to you. You don't need any special precautions. You don't even think about this malignancy. You're basically a normal man. So don't worry. No, nothing specific for you. But generally the precautions is, I told you, right? They wash hands, mask, and so on. That's all. Nothing much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
How is the situation in Bangladesh?
Situation getting worse. Cases like suspected and the confirmed cases is getting rise every day. It is around right now is 35 and 40 cases died in every day, and confirmed cases is around 3,000 to 4,000 every day. So it is not very good for country because it is rising day by day. And the expert and the researchers saying that July might be the most critical time in our country, according to the newspaper or the physicians or the doctors, what they are telling at the moment. So July might be the most critical part, and even I think that mid-August also.
Yeah, I think in India is similar. I think people are talking about October being the peak here in India. Oh, let's see. I'm not sure how things will pan out. Let's see how things go. Anyway, thank you for joining us from Bangladesh. Good. Rama, any question?
I would like to ask.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry?
Sivaraman sir, he's asking, is it necessary to have an oximeter at home? Does salt water gargling help?
So, okay, that's a good question. Sivaraman sir, you've been reading up on this, I think. Very good, very good. So, the pulse oximeter